Hey guys, it's Phoenix Android Radios here. In this video we're going to be looking at the Chrysler 300 radios. This is for 2011 and later. Specifically, this radio works for 2011 and above, but the main harness we have today, which looks like this, is for 2015 and above. So if your vehicle is 2015 and above, the harness is going to look like this, and the connections will look like this video here, but the radio is the same radio for 2011 and above. So if we look at the back, we have several connections we can go through. One is the RCA harness, which is all these RCAs, and it also has the SIM card reader. The radio also has a SIM card slot at the bottom here. We'll go through the RCAs really quick. You have CVBS out 1, AV, aux AV in, aux L, and aux R for that aux V. Aux CVBS in, you have a microphone connector, which the radio has a built-in microphone. It also supports the factory microphone, but if neither of those two works, you do receive an external microphone where you can plug in an external microphone. You have FR out, FL out, the RCAs for outs on aftermarket sound, as well as a subwoofer RCA. You have rear left and rear right out, but you also have a set of rear right and rear left out on this connector right here, which comes from this adapter. So the two green wires goes all the way up to here, and you have two RCAs. This whole row, all of these will be connected except for this one. Next to it is a 4-pin connector, which is supposed to have a single USB cable, which we don't have here. But next to the 4-pin, you have a 6-pin connector that has two cables that route to two USB ports. So these USB ports route them outside the vehicle so that you have access. You can plug in a flash drive with video or audio files. You can also do Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Next to the two USB cable, you have the 10-pin connector for the factory or aftermarket backup camera, which is labeled CCD AV in. So the whole row here is used, all except for this large connector here. You have the radio antenna, the Wi-Fi antenna, which is 5G gigahertz band supported, the GPS connector. The radio comes with this adapter to connect the factory antenna, but we also provide an external GPS antenna to connect to here, and it's just a screw-on. And you also have the 4G SIM card antenna, which we have it taped here, which is a circular puck, and this line follows to this, where we can screw on the LT antenna here. Before we connect things to the car, confirm that all these are connected except for this one, which is not used. Confirm that the main cable is connected. The bottom here, canvas, is connected, and the top here, the two green wires on this connection. And all these, the clips are facing downwards, so you can see this clip right here. From here, we can connect to the vehicle. We have the box connector. This harness is for vehicles 2015 and above. So it comes with these sets of RCAs. One set is a Res R, Res L, along with video signal 2. This set is not used if your vehicle does not have a rear entertainment system. These are not used. If your vehicle has a factory CD player or Blu-ray player, you have CDL and CDR. And if it is a Blu-ray player, you also have the video signal, which would come through from video signal 1. You can connect to the RCA connector at the top here, the largest one. And again, there are several RCAs. We can connect that to aux L, aux R, and aux in. So if we have a factory Blu-ray player, that will be the video feed through aux V in, aux L, and aux R, going to CDL and CDR. The other RCAs on the large box plug are aux-R in and aux-L in. Lastly, you have the camera signal for the factory backup camera. This male RCA connects to the top here on the 10-pin connector with a single RCA. If you have an aftermarket camera, that would connect here. But in this case, we have a factory backup camera. This connects together and it comes from the box plug. Once that's connected, we'll connect the box plug as well as the air conditioning plug down here, which corresponds to this red connector for the AC and this red connector for the box. You can see we have several things connected already. We have this adapter for the factory USB port, and connect the male part to a secondary one. So where you're looking at the cable with the 2 USB ports, connect it to one of the 2. And from here, connect a USB flash drive to the factory USB port on the car. And with the adapter, both USB ports should work. If you plug in a flash drive with audio files or video files, you can see it on the File Manager app on the radio. We've also connected the radio antenna adapter, and we're using the white connector. This connection goes to the back of the radio, and that's what the adapter looks like. Majority of the time it is the white one, but test the other ones if your radio signal is not strong. So we'll connect the radio antenna adapter at the back here and connect the air conditioning plug here. You will hear a beep. Hearing the beep is good. We can connect the box plug. The latch is up. When we connect it, the latch will go down and it clicks in place. From here, if you look at the front of the radio, we've moved both the factory clock to the back of the panel here, as well as the air vents to the radio. At the front of the radio, we have knobs for both fan speed and temperature, and you can also program them to either do volume or fan speed or temperature. You have the hazard button here, which does light up. You have traction control and sport mode on or off. And the buttons on the right side, you have air conditioning for the position of the air and to turn on or off the compressor. And the air circulation for inside the vehicle. If your car has other buttons, such as these buttons here, we will switch the buttons out depending on your vehicle dash photo. So be sure to send us a vehicle dash photo and we can determine which set of buttons you would need for your vehicle. This is a 13.6-inch radio. It comes in 3 different storage options: 4 gigs of RAM, 64 hard drive, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of hard drive, and 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of hard drive. The last thing before you mount the radio in the vehicle is when you remove the factory radio, you will have 2 plastic stubs here that we did have to snip off in order for the radio screen to fit in. You also need to cut these 2 clips off so that the radio can fit flush on the left and right sides. Total of 4. With that said, the previous versions of this radio, you did have to cut this portion out, but with this version, you no longer need this portion of the plastic cut out. Rather, you just need to cut these poles so that the radio can fit in. From here, we can connect the clock, the top clock. You can also see we have several of these antennas that are not used. And aside from that, all other connectors are used. So we'll connect the clock at the top. We will also route the USB cables and the SIM card somewhere outside the vehicle so that they are accessible. Because we cut the 2 tabs, we can now fit the radio into the car. Okay.